all-new FPE Network.
Florida Park Explorers.
We explore the parks 5 to 6 days a week with great live streams and vlogs. We cover everything from rides and food to magic and fun and fireworks. So come join us on our adventures as we take you through
the Disney parks and more.
And check out our all-new channel, FPE Network. And thanks for watching.
Smiles, laughter, togetherness. It's the stuff vacations are made of. Not just the time we spend, but the memories we make together. So let Mouska Planner help you plan the most magical vacation of all. We'll make it happen while you make the memories. Mouska Planner. Family vacations made magically simple.
Hey, y'all, we are back. It is Monday Night. Breaking Balls is back. My name is Jeff. That is Bill Sr. We are FPEN Sports' baseball show every Monday night. If you were here last week and we weren't, it's my fault. It's not really. We had some crazy weather locally. Sorry. But anyway, we are back and we are glad you guys are here. Hello, Mike in the chat. Hello, everybody else who is here. Listen, we got a lot to talk about. We missed our preview show. So we're going to put the preview show into our first week, Bill. It's already been a great season. Would you agree?
It's been a great season for me so far. We came back and beat the Mets tonight.
His Phillies got there. You got to get 5 or 6 wins a year. They're going to take care of one of those tonight. We are going to talk about the NL West, the AL West, the NL East, the AL East, the NL Central, the AL Central. We're going to talk about the award winners, Rookies of the Year, MVP, Cy Young Award winners. Then we're going to talk about, if we get to have any time left, what's going on that stands out for us this week. Lots of stuff just happened today that I think is going to be a lot of fun. I think we should get to it, though. You ready, Bill?
I'm ready.
Let's start in the NL East. That's for you, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm rethinking.
Are you?
My
Tell
1 through 5 that I had. the Braves have a lot coming back, and I kind of picked them to win the division again this year. And everybody's been hooting and hollering with the Mets, but just in watching the Phillies lineup over the weekend, they are going to absolutely score runs this summer. And their bullpen, I know it's only early, it's only 4 games, but their bullpen is already 100% better than it's been the last couple years. I don't know. I could be the Braves and Phillies. I'm going to go with 1A and 1B in that division.
So I've got the Braves winning the East also. Now, this year, they have 3 wild cards in each league. So AL takes 3, the NL takes 3. And I'll give a hint to my, how do I say this? Each division in the NL has a participant as a wild card in my predictions, and the Phillies will probably be the one I mentioned. So 2 teams from the NL East I've got going to the playoffs. Braves winning the East. Sounds like we're exactly the same. It sounds like you had the Braves, but you're picking the Phillies 1A. So I'm going to
like I said, it's early, but that lineup that the Phillies have this year, I mean, just 1 through 9 all the way down, and then with Girardi this weekend, getting guys in and out of the lineup, and even with switching the lineup, giving guys a rest or whatever, they still have bats, and
they do. Yeah.
And like always, it always comes down to injury. So we'll see. But
Castellanos has been one of my favorite hitters for a while. Adding him to the mix there at the end. You already had Harper. Did you see what your third baseman did today?
I saw part of it early. I saw that he had 3 bad throws early.
He used to not like Veterans Stadium. I'll put it that way. Go ahead and look it up on YouTube or Instagram or wherever you check out highlights. I'll leave it at that. But they're
Veterans Stadium. You're a little behind the times there.
Veterans Stadium.
At the Citizens Bank Park?
Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Isn't that the name of it back in the day?
Back in the day, yeah.
Jack Murphy and Sandy. I go it all. Look, I'm not even mad at corporations, but I'm not going to give them my free.
Oh, okay. You'll have to text me that later. I like the one when Harper got his MVP trophy the other day from Mike Schmidt. He gave a quick speech or whatever, and he says, "This is nice. Awards or whatever are nice, but my ultimate goal was that parade down Broad Street." And a quote online that I saw the next day, and I forget who it was, one of the Philly. Oh, the pitcher that they got last year, Gibson, I think it is, they got from the Rangers last year.
Kyle Gibson?
Yeah. He's like, Broad Street. Where's Broad Street?
Did you see that on the media guide, Harper?
Yeah. Went back to Schmidt when he won his MVP.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
By the way, welcome in Francisco and Mike. Anybody else I might have missed in chat? I'm glad you guys are here. All right, so the NL East, we both sounds like we both take the Braves. We both like the Phillies. NL Central, who you got winning it?
Everybody's hot on the Brewers and all, but the Cardinals, man, you just can never count the Cardinals out. And the last go around, I think Molina, this is going to be his last year, and I don't know. I just got to go with the Cardinals. I think the Brewers are going to be a good team. I think the Cubs are going to be a little bit better this year. And then the Reds and the Pirates, they might as well just play minor league ball this year, though. They just gave away.
If we would have done the prediction show in March, I might have went with the Reds. I really liked what the Reds were doing.
Yes.
I like the young guys coming up. Hunter Green might be somebody I mentioned later in the show. They gave away the farm at the end. They traded. I mean, the one trade was to Seattle, ended my hopes for them making the playoffs. But for me, it's the Brewers. Those arms are too good. Now, Woodruff got lit up pretty good day before yesterday or whatever. Burn, come on. Just the pitching staff in Milwaukee is too elite not to assume they're going to make the playoffs. I'm going to got them winning. I actually thought when I did a little bit of research for this a week and a couple of days ago now, I was surprised to see how little respect the Cardinals were getting, but I too have them in second. I have them being a wild card team in the NL. They're my third wild card team in the NL, but still, I've got the Brewers and the Cardinals. I don't believe in the Cubs as much as you do. Will they get into the third?
I don't know. I don't believe in them as that they're going to make the playoffs or anything, but I definitely think they're going back in the right direction.
Well, we might be talking about one of their rookies here in the future too. But let's get to the NL West. That's my team. This one, I hated putting that at number 1. I can't even imagine you not picking the right answer on this one. Of course, I'll take the lead here. My Dodgers, not off to a good start. They lost 2 out of 3 in Colorado. Stupid Colorado beats I'm a Dodgers fan living in Fort Worth, Texas, which means the Rangers are my hometown team. My Dodgers get beat 2 out of 3 by the Rockies. And then today, home opener here in Texas. And we lose in extra innings to an overturned call First time ever, I think. We'll talk about that maybe later. Probably not, actually. But I got my Dodgers winning. I thought 162-0. I guess we'll go with 160-2. What do you think?
I think I had the Dodgers down for about 95 or 97 wins this year. They could top out at 100, but we'll see.
I'll be shocked if they don't win 100. But as a San Diegan, whom I lived in San Diego for years, all my buddies are Padres fans. I got the Padres game on the TV behind the screen here. I want to be excited about Fernando Tatis not being in the lineup, but I'm not. That pitching staff. Are you kidding me? That pitching staff. And they start out the season 6 innings of no-hit ball from Yu Darvish, 7 innings of no-hit ball from Sean Manaea, who they traded away a bucket of spit for. Are you kidding me? I really like the Padres a lot, and that's without the best player in the National League, Fernando Tatis, for the first 2 weeks. I've got the Padres being the first wild card team. So Dodgers, Brewers, Braves for me, Padres, Phillies, Cardinals. Who do you have as your wild card?
Well, I have the Braves, Cardinals, and Dodgers winning.
Okay.
The divisions, and I'm going to go with the Phillies, Brewers, and would have been all over the Padres, but there's just too much happening there. But they do have the pitching, and we'll see. I'm sure there's going to be some short trades before the deadline with them, but be between the Giants and Padres making a wild card, I think.
Yeah, I mean the Padres, or excuse me, the Giants lost a big starter, but they added in Carlos Rodon, who struck out a whole bunch his first night out the other night. So they might just be reloading. I don't really believe in them that much. I don't think Brandon Crawford and Brandon Belt are going to have as big of offensive seasons as they did last year. But boy, I didn't think that last year either, and they did it. I want to welcome in Sam Welb in the house. Glad you are here. Welcome in. I guess that takes us to the AL, doesn't it? Want to start in the AL West?
Yeah, we can. And this one, I hate putting them at number 1, but I still think the Astros are probably even though they lost Correa, I still think they're the best team in the West. And I was a little shocked after I went and did all this picking with all the moves that the Mariners made this year, but I just had them slid them down to 4th.
I'm surprised to see that on your list. I got the Mariners probably winning the AL West.
Yeah, they very well could.
I like what they added the 2 Red Stars. I like the pitching there a lot. I don't believe in Houston. Now, their pitching, I guess I'm assuming that Lance McCullers doesn't come back as strong as he could. Like, Lance McCullers could win the Cy Young, and Lance McCullers could not pitch at all. And I think that's a big toe on the scale there for Houston. So I'm a fan of Lance McCullers Jr. I was a fan of his dad. I grew up in San Diego, like I said. So his dad, Lance McCullers, was there. I actually met his wife and kid out down in Disney a couple years ago. And so I've been a fan of them just because of that. I really like the kid, but I don't believe in the Astros. I really don't. I think the Korea thing's going to hurt. I'm saying all this, and I don't want to give away my MVP picks, but my 3rd place for AL MVP is on the Astros, and he might be a surprise to some people. That said, I have them making the playoffs, but I have them in their 3rd spot. So I got the Mariners winning the AL West, and I got the Astros being the last AL wildcard team. I would love to put my Rangers up higher. I even like to pick the Angels. I don't believe in their pitching. I really, really don't. No,
pitching, them like the Phillies, their pitching got a lot better this year. And the one player, I might as well talk about him now. You were talking about having one player to pick out from the weekend, and it's got to be Syndergaard. I mean, he come back from Tommy John, only pitched 2 innings last year, came back, and I think he pitched 5 1/3 the other night. He only had 1 strikeout, but he only, I believe, gave up 2 hits, and that could be really, really big. And going against Verlander and the Astros too. So I think that was a big step forward for him.
It would be a great story. But I think with the Angels, there's so many if this, if that, if this with the pitching. I believe in Ohtani. I do. But boy, that's putting a lot of pressure on him to do it again. He might have a better year this year, but think about their pitching. Ohtani, he's hitting every day too, and he's the MVP on offense. Syndergaard, what do you have? 2 innings in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I just don't believe. I'm not going to go through the whole list. I just don't believe in them. They're going to have to prove it to me. So I got the Mariners winning the West, Astros sneaking in the playoffs. That takes us to the AL Central. Everybody's picking the White Sox. Should I even ask? It's the White Sox with nobody, right?
Yeah, I think I got the White Sox and the Twins, and I think the Tigers are going to be a much better team this year. They're a team that's really definitely going in the right direction. They got a lot of young, couple trades they made it the last couple of years. They've stocked their farm system, and this kid that they just brought up, he's Torkelson. He's going to be a hell of a hitter.
They love him at third, and I like that Casey Mize on the hill too. I think
Yeah.
he's going to do good things. We'll see. I think the Tigers are coming. I don't hate the Royals. I don't even hate the Indians. I like the Twins a lot. I really wanted to put the Twins in my third slot instead of the Astros, but I couldn't do it. They're not quite in the playoffs, but they could be the team that messes up my predictions for sure. I don't think there's any way the White Sox don't win that division. I think the White Sox and the Dodgers are the obvious choices for division champions this year. I think it's just it would take a lot of injuries for either of those teams not to win at all. I think that takes us to the AL East. What say you?
I think it's the Blue Jays division this year. I mean, the Rays are going to be right there. I have the Rays picked at second. The Yankees, I have them third, and the Red Sox, and of course the Orioles. But they just got so much young talent in Toronto. It's ridiculous, the young talent that they have up there, and they got a pretty strong, pitching staff, and they're going to be tough to beat.
I'm worried about their pitching. Pitching is so hard to predict. Young Jung Ryu got thumped.
Yeah,
he's got to be a big plus for them. If he's even ball or a negative, they're not going to win it. But I do like the odds of their pitching. I go with Toronto also here. Yankees I have in second, however, and I have the Yankees being the first team in the wild card. So I really, if the Yankees, if I had more confidence in the Yankees pitching than the Blue Jays pitching, I probably would have picked the Yankees. Severino's back in New York. I really like the possibility of some of their young guys. I like their bullpen a little bit. Toronto's got some upside, but kind of scares me. But all that offense, I read somewhere today, somebody said maybe Toronto's going to see if they can be all offense, no pitching, and still win a division. I don't think it's that.
Well, that's what I was just going to say with Toronto. I put them in the same boat as the Phillies with their lineup and their pitching. Their lineup is going to take a lot of pressure off the pitching because the pitcher's going to know going in, he's not going to have to pitch a 1-0 shutout or, a 3-2 game. He gives up 3 or 4 runs. They can still score half a dozen runs.
Yeah.
I mean, they just, both teams, Phillies and the Jays, got a lot of bats in the lineup. And I don't know if you watched, was it today or yesterday? Vlad Guerrero hit an absolute bomb.
Was it 470 or something? I think it was the hardest ball hit.
Crazy. He crushed it.
In his career so far. He's fun to watch. I remember the year before he made the major leagues. I think it was a spring training video of him. Just the sound. Oh, Jock Peterson takes one off the knee in San Francisco. The sound of the ball off his bat sounds different. Sounded different. And I was a big fan of his daddy. So it's nice to see him be a star. And boy, is he. He's and that's a really good lineup. We'll see on the pitching, but I'm picking the Blue Jays. So for the AL, I got the Mariners, the White Sox, Blue Jays. My wild card teams are Yankees. Bo Sox would be the second team we haven't talked about yet, and Astros. So I actually have 3 AL East teams winning or making the playoffs. I really like Trevor Story in Boston.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, especially with that short left field. I mean, there's another guy that's not a real big guy, but he's got a lot of pop in his bat. We'll see how it plays out of Colorado, but I mean, he still did well on the road too.
I think he'll be fine. I do.
Yeah.
That means for me that puts the Rays in fourth, which I don't like doing because I really like what they're doing down there. But I think they haven't been doing it with mirrors. I don't want to say they're doing it with mirrors, but I think this is the year they pull back a little bit. They get rid of some guys. I think it's going to hurt them.
Yeah,
I was surprised about the Austin Meadows deal and some other things they did.
But I don't know how they've done it. I mean, their farm system has got to be one of the tops in the major leagues. Their farm.
They reload every year, right? And everybody's expecting Wander Franco.
Yeah,
I don't believe Wander Franco's going to be an MVP this year. That's part of it.
No.
He's going to have to be for them to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they'll be right there. I mean, everybody counts them out, but the last 4 or 5 years, they just. I mean, that's the model for the small market teams. That's the model that all these the Pirates and the Reds, that they should
definitely.
Yeah.
They're the argument against the silliness that everybody freaks out off season about money in baseball. So again, Mariners, White Sox, Blue Jays, division winners, Yankees, Red Sox, Astros for me, Dodgers, Brewers, Braves in the NL, wild cards are Padres, Phillies, Cardinals. Who do you got? Who are your 2 teams in the World Series, and who do you got winning it all? And then I'll
Well,
share.
I got the Dodgers, Braves in the NLCS, and the Blue Jays, White Sox in the ALCS, and then the Dodgers, Jays in the World Series. And it it killed me, but I had to go with the Dodgers. But it's early. I think I might rethink that.
AL for me, I got the White Sox and the Blue Jays. Blue Jays advancing. In the NL, I got the Dodgers and the Brewers.
Ooh.
Dodgers advancing.
I think there could be a team in red in the mix late in the playoffs this year.
Maybe. And that would be fun for us. I would love that.
Oh,
of course, I've got my Dodgers.
Phillies in LCS. That would be crazy.
I think the last year I didn't pick the Dodgers to win the World Series was 1988 when they did win the World Series. But they definitely, it's easy to pick them this year. I think it brings us to the awards. But before we do that, my name is Chef Bates. Dole Whip Dad is my main channel. We do a lot of sports over there. Not a lot of content on my channel the last 3 or 4 days. I've just had some weird stuff going on, but lots of sports and baseball content over there. Lots of Disney content over there. Some other things too. Going to spread it out into some other channels. We'll talk about that another time. This is Bill, Senior Bill. Where do you want them to find you?
Just check out Magic of the Mouse Radio. You Google it, and you'll find us on there on a lot of different radio apps or our website. Just go to magicofthemouseradio.com.
Producer Dave, if you want to take a break now before you do the awards, that is totally fine with us. Or we can keep rolling and do the awards now, whatever you want to do, buddy.
Main Street Treat brings Disney to you. Hey, we're Rob and Mel from Disney Connections and the new owners of Main Street Treat Company. So come visit us over at mainstreettreat.com to order your treats today.
I see my buddy Mike Wheeler has joined us. Mike Wheeler in the chat. Welcome in, my man. So if you're wondering where the heck we were last week, I'm going to share it again. We had a little weather problem. About 2.5 hours ago, we weather in the area again tonight, nothing like that. But they did the test, I guess. I don't know why. I've got to tell the story. Do you have home weather radios where you live, Bill?
I know what you're talking about.
Okay,
I don't have one.
So we have one in the bedroom. This is mine. It's right across the hallway from the bedroom, and the thing goes off, and I'm doing stuff. I can't get up. I'm doing stuff. It goes off, but you know how it goes off, and then it gives you words.
Yeah.
The thing went off with a siren for like 10, 12 minutes straight.
Last week or tonight?
Tonight, like 2 hours ago. So for no reason. So finally, I was about to get up. I finally finished my phone call, and I finished what I was doing. I was going to head in there, and it turned off. But it reminded me that last week we had a weather delay for the show. So I'm sorry about that, everybody. But I'm glad you're here tonight. Check out Magic of the Mouse Radio for Bill Senior. Check out Dole Dad for me. If you just getting here, you missed our picks for the division winners and the World Series champions. Hint, it rhymes with Los Angeles Dodgers. It's time for MVP, Cy Young Award winners, and Rookie of the Year. Where do you want to start, Bill?
We'll go with the NL MVP. I think the NL MVP is going to come from white and red pinstripes again this year. I think Harper, with what he has around him and the protection he has around him that he really hasn't had, I think this could be a monster year for him. Last year was good. I was kind of surprised with the numbers that he had with the RBIs and that he did win the MVP last year, but I think he's going to have an even bigger year this year.
I'm actually a huge Bryce Harper fan. I have been for a long time. I actually think he's underrated. That's how good I think he is. He's not my pick, however. I've got so I did top 3. I put in the 3rd spot, I put Matt Olson because I really do.
Did you see the weekend he's had?
I love it. I love it. Big fan of that kid too. Love that he's out of Oakland. I've got him in my 3rd spot. I got Juan Soto, who's probably the obvious choice for most people in the 2nd spot. But here's the problem with Juan Soto.
He's going to be on a last place team.
And why would you throw him a strike?
Yeah.
I mean, Nelson
But
Cruz is going to be the one that's going to have the nice numbers.
Yeah.
He's going to get all the RBIs because he's going to be sitting behind him. But you're going to walk Juan Soto because you're not going to get beat by Juan Soto. And then for first place, Juan Soto's teammate last year, Trey Turner. Not a lot of love for Trey Turner in the MVP voting. I think he's a slick fielder. I think he's going to steal 30, 40 bags. I think he's going to score 120 runs. They're hitting him in the third slot right now, so he might knock in 100, 110 runs. I really like Trey Turner, and I think he's going to lift the Dodgers. And if the Dodgers have as good of a year as everybody is predicting, you're going to have to look at the best player on the Dodgers offensively. And who's that going to be this year? I don't know, but it might be Trey Turner. It might be Betts. We shall see. AL MVP, you want to go first?
Yeah, I have it going to be a close race, I think, between Trout and Vlad Guerrero. Trout, I think last year he was off to probably his best start after only four or 5 weeks before he hurt his calf. And I just think if he stays healthy this year, he could have his biggest year again because he's got some help around him, and they got to pitch to him. So that should be a really interesting race, and there could be other couple people I think in the mix for the AL MVP also.
So I love your two picks. I think they're probably the most obvious picks, and I don't disagree with them at all. But neither of them are my top three. I can tell you why for Trout. I think we have fallen into a situation that's going to hurt Trout in two ways. One, three reasons really. He plays on the West Coast. That's harder right there. Now Trey Turner does too, so I guess it's a little unfair, but he's an angel. Okay. Number two, he wasn't the best player on his team last year, even if
but he only played till like May 17th. That could have been
what I'm saying though. Even if he doesn't get hurt, the MVP was an angel and it wasn't him. I think the national voters.
You don't know though. I mean, he was having a monster year.
Player of our generation, but I think the national voters are going to look at Ohtani more than him. I think it's hard to argue that if Ohtani's offense and Trout's offense are anywhere even close, Ohtani's more valuable, and I think that's going to hurt Trout. So I didn't even put him in my top three. I got Kyle Tucker in the third spot, Shohei Ohtani in the second spot. But I think Aaron Judge is going to win it this year. I think he's going to have a massive offensive year. He turned down all the dollar bills in New York. I think he's going to stay in New York. I hear a lot of buzz about him coming to LA. I don't buy into it.
No.
I think he's going to be a Yankee for life. I don't see how the Yankees could justify not breaking the bank for him.
Well, it
Aaron
could
Judge could have a big year.
It could go one of two ways. Well, one of three ways with Judge. Hopefully he stays healthy because he's injury prone. The second is he could just have an off year because it affects him that he didn't sign, which I think is probably a little less unlikely than him having a chip on his shoulder and just playing his ass off all year, which very well could happen. I mean, he's one of those kind of players. He can carry a team for 4, 5, 6 weeks with a bat.
Absolutely. And he's got protection. I mean, Stanton is smashing the ball right now, and there's
right now. And that's another one. He's more injury prone since he's left Miami than Judge is.
Absolutely. Well, I mean that he's so tight. I mean,
yeah,
any baseball guy wouldn't be surprised by that. But I think Aaron Judge. I think this is the massive year. I think if somebody hits 60 home runs this year, it's going to be him.
Yeah. He's got the ability to do it. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I've got Judge winning it and Trey Turner. Cy Young Award. You want to go first? NL, AL? What do you want to do?
Yeah, go NL. I think the obvious choice is Scherzer. I mean, he's just a different breed of pitcher. I mean, there's not many pitchers like him that come along over the years. You get like one every 5 or 6 years, maybe every 10 years. And I mean, he left the Nationals. He was a rental for the Dodgers for a little bit. And I honestly thought that they were going to sign him.
I did too.
But he's got a decent lineup with the Mets, and we'll see. And I'm really looking forward to Wednesday night when the Phillies go up against them.
So I love him. I love Mad Max. I'm a huge Mad Max fan, but he doesn't come in my top three.
Yeah, I'm sure it's another shade of blue.
I think you might be right. I went with number 3, Sean Manaea. He had good odds for the AL Cy Young in Oakland before the trade happened. Sean Manaea is really good, but I've got him in my third slot. Aaron Nola in my second slot, Bill Senior. Don't get too big of a head, but I really think he's gonna have a big comeback year.
I'd be happy if he's top 5. I mean,
I
he's
think he's going to have a big year. He wasn't that bad last year. Let's be real.
and like there's another pitcher that's going to totally benefit from not getting flustered, giving up 3 or 4 runs.
I agree. Hey, I can't even talk. Hello, our Castle Life. Easy for me to say. I don't know why my mouth didn't work there. So I've got Mania 3, Nola 2, but yeah, you're right. Bueller's day off. Walker Buehler. I think this is going to be the year. I actually thought he had a real shot at it last year. He had a couple bad starts at the end. I think this is the year he became the opening day starter for LA. The first time it hasn't been Clayton Kershaw in quite some time. I do think the Dodgers run away with the NL. I do think they're going to get some award votes just for that. And Buehler's going to be their best pitcher. Now, they better get some things in gear. It's only day 3 or 4 or whatever, but I think Walker Buehler is the way to go. I'll take the AL now. My third slot, I'm going to go with Lance Lynn. Same reason I'm going with Buehler. The White Sox are going to run away with that. I think Lance Lynn's their best pitcher. I really like Lance Lynn.
I've always liked him.
Not a guy I'd want to piss off, I'll tell you that. But I really like him. Shane Bieber, I think, is filthy. I've got him in the 2 slot. But number 1, I hate doing this, but I believe in the Yankees this year, so Garrett Cole. Now, all of that, I need to say all of that around, I wasn't sure about the spin. Garrett Cole spin rates right after they started checking pitchers changed a lot. Yu Darvish did too. So I'm not sure, right? He's one of those guys that might be playing with that. And that reminds me, I got to be honest with you, how close I came to picking the Cy Young Award winner in the NL by the name of Trevor freaking Bauer. But I couldn't do it because I don't even know when he's going to pitch.
Yeah.
But I wanted to so bad.
Yeah.
But I didn't. But Garrett Cole,
that would be a nice comeback.
I mean, yeah. And there's a whole story there.
I can't believe they're paying him $30-some million to stay home.
Sit at home, right? Yeah. Anyway, but Garrett Cole's my pick in the AL. Who you got?
I have Cole and Bieber, and I'll probably lean more towards Cole because unless Bieber just runs away with it, I think the Cy Young is a little different than the MVP with the if you're on a losing team or whatever. Yeah. But I think Bieber very well could run away with it in the AL, and it'll just come down to if the I was going to say the Indians, if the Guardians can score runs for him.
Yeah, I just don't think the Indians, Guardians, whoever they are going to be in the picture.
He could have a Steve Carlton, and what was it, 72 Steve Carlton type of year with the Guardians.
But there's the thing, can he? I mean, those are so rare. I don't know. That was one of the great pitching years ever. So anyway, but we both got with Cole there, so that's interesting. Rookie of the year, I saw it on the screen. You want to tell everybody who yours are? Because I saw on the screen.
This guy that the Cubs got from Japan. I watched a couple preseason games, and I read a few articles on him. And he's not a big guy, and he's got an absolute cannon in the outfield. I believe I told it a little bit last week. Him and Hayward were in the outfield taking grounders and throwing balls to home plate first day of spring training. And he threw one from almost to the warning track, and they said it was low on the inside corner, third base side of the bag at the catcher's knees in the air the whole way. And he just said he's got an incredible arm, and Hayward's got a great arm. And they said he was just in awe of over the throws that this guy was making. And he's a hell of a bat. I think today he hit his first time.
Yeah.
And I think that if he stays healthy, that'll probably be a runaway.
One of my when you told me that story a couple of days ago about the throw, I remember being in spring training. I don't even know what year it was. It was Ichiro Suzuki's rookie year. And my buddies were San Diego fans, and San Diego and Seattle share a complex in Peoria, Arizona. So we were in Peoria, and we got to see him up close. And we would always get seats right on the right field line. So all the guys would walk by, and the guys were collecting autographs and stuff. But in warm-ups, I watched Suzuki throw the ball. Ichiro Suzuki. Seiya Suzuki. On a line every time, perfect, like video freaking game, laser beams coming out of Iron Man's eyes. It was like nothing I've ever seen. And when you told me Seiya Suzuki is doing the same, I'm like, what are they doing over there? They're doing something better than we're doing.
There's another Ichiro. He definitely wasn't a big guy.
No, slight looking guy.
I wish I could have seen him.
Not short, but certainly not thick.
I wish I could have seen him play live because I would have just loved watching batting practice. They said
watching him take defensive drills it ingrained in my mind. This guy is another level.
Yep.
of amazing. I was
They
honored
said
to
he
be
had
there.
power and he could take it out of the ballpark anytime he wanted.
Mhm,
And they say
mhm.
sometimes in batting practice, he would just put on a
Yeah,
show.
yeah. Interesting stuff. Okay, so your rookie of the year in the NL is Suzuki. Who is it in the AL?
I'm between Witt and Torkelson for the Tigers. And Witt's been a little slow with the bat. He's had a couple hits,
Oh,
but
I mean, it's early.
he got the play of the weekend. I don't know if you saw the ground ball.
Yeah, brilliant play,
Fell on his
actually.
ass and threw it home. And I mean, that was just
Well, and he
unbelievable.
had a clutch double to knock in the winning run too. I mean,
Yeah.
he's had a pretty good
Yeah.
let's see,
That
high
play was
level.
unbelievable. That
Yeah.
throw. Falling backwards on his rear end and I don't know how he got it to the catcher.
Well, and he did exactly what he needed to do. I mean, the game was in. If you don't know, Witt playing third base. By the way, the Royals have 3 shortstops starting on their infield. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Not a lot of power, but Bobby Witt makes a play down the line. He's on the ground, like on his knee, almost towards his butt. Fires to the catcher, Sal Perez, right? 2 hops because he's got to, and they make the play. What a play! It
Yeah,
was an amazing play.
was
If you haven't
definitely
checked
the
it
play
out,
of the
check it out.
weekend.
So in the AL Rookie of the Year, I've got Torkelson 3, Bobby Witt 2. Number 1, I've got Julio Rodriguez. Not off to a good start, but I really, really like this kid. I think he's the class of this crop. I mean, I know he's not getting as much buzz right now as some of these other guys. I really like this kid. Julio Rodriguez up in Seattle. Obviously, I'm picking Seattle to win, so obviously I like a lot of things going on up there. This guy's going to be a super, super, superstar. In the NL, number 3, your kid Stout, Bryson Stout. I don't know if I'm even saying his name right. Stout, whatever.
Stott.
Okay, I mean, Philly's going to be good.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to be good for them, and if he is, they're going to notice him. Number 2, Hunter Green. I really wanted to be number 1 with him. I just don't think Cincinnati's going to be that good. And number 1, say Suzuki. I think it's hard to pick against him. Boy,
Usually for rookie of the year, you could look into the minors and see what's going to be called up. But now they've kind of changed it a little bit, and there's no holding the players really back anymore to get them that extra year.
I like that so much better. Hey, Brian.
Yeah. And so a lot of those players we're going to see a lot earlier this year rather than.
Hallelujah. I hated that rule.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad one of the biggest ones was Bryant with the Cubs. Yep. I mean, he was they held him back that first year for 4 weeks or whatever it was, and that's just
he never forgave him.
Yeah.
And it, in this era of arbitration, it seems a little short-sighted. I get it. You're the general managers. It goes back. What's the movie? With Brad Pitt, Moneyball. Yeah. He didn't want to interact with the players. I know it's just a movie, but it tells the story that you really don't like to interact with the players as a GM because they're pieces of a puzzle. You might need to trade them. And that's actually an interesting story. If we have time for it, JT, Justin Turner, his wife has a podcast, and I'm going to read a little bit from that if we have time. We got about 20 minutes left, so we might have time for it. But it was a very interesting take on the insider, the man, not the ball player, the man, and the A.J. Pollock, Craig Kimball trade. We'll get to it if we can. So there you go. There's our picks. I'll retread mine. Dodgers, Brewers, Braves, Mariners, White Sox, Blue Jays. Dodgers over the Blue Jays in the World Series. MVP Turner and Judge, Cy Young, Buehler, and Cole. Rookie of the Year Rodriguez and Suzuki.
Yeah, we're pretty close with the exception of probably the NL Central and the AL West. We're pretty close on all.
You've got Harper and Scherzer. Hard for me to argue those. I just didn't put them in there, but nothing wrong with any of those picks. Really, I'm not surprised. We were pretty tight. We both have the Phillies in the playoffs and the Dodgers in the playoffs. Yes.
Yes, I would. I would love to see an NLCS Dodgers and Phillies.
My Dodgers beating up your Phillies on prime time would be so beautiful.
It wouldn't happen this year.
Brian says, Ohtani, I love him. Hard not to love him. Kind of the face of baseball. Him or Fernando Tatis. That's the thing with Trout. Like, I'll go back to that. How does Trout get back the mantle of best player in the league if he's not the most popular / best player on his own team? It's kind of a rough situation, but I love them both. I'm a huge Trout fan. I know you are too.
Yeah.
What do you want to speak to that? I mean,
yeah, Ohtani had a great year last year, and we'll see if he can back it up, which I think he can. He's got talent that I don't know where he gets it all from. It should almost be illegal that one person gets that much talent, but it's crazy,
phenomenal.
But if both of those guys stay, and Rendon, if the 3 of those guys stay healthy this year, which Rendon was out most of last year too, so if they all stay healthy, it could be a real interesting year. And if they bat Trout second most of the year and Rendon behind him, he's got that protection behind him. It could be a monster year for Trout. I wouldn't be surprised if Rendon has a good year and has a hot bat all year, that this could be Trout's best year yet.
And that Walsh kid had a nice year. I mean, there's a lot to like there. I just don't like their pitching enough yet. I mean,
yeah, and I forget his name. He had a home run tonight. Their first baseman, they call him Captain Caveman for the Angels. He's another one that could be a good bat. And it's what is it? Walsh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Walsh. Yeah, he had a big year last year.
Yeah, and
he's Captain Caveman.
Yeah, well, he's got the big beard like Blackman does in Colorado. So they're calling him Captain Caveman.
You remind me. Did you see the winning home run on beer night in Arizona was by
his last name was Beer?
It was like Central Casting wrote that one. I loved it.
Yeah, I saw that this afternoon in one of the highlights. I was watching the game. That was funny.
I bet he had a bunch of friends in college just for his name. I mean, that was
yeah.
Funny. All right, those are our awards and our division winners. We're going to get to the players of the week here now and some of the biggest stories. Who's your player of the week?
Well, I talked about a little bit earlier, but he had a great game the other night. Let me try and bring up my
happy birthday almost, Brian. 37 on the 21st this month. Happy birthday, buddy. LPF 44 in the house. Phillies are ringing that bell with the trophy in the air this year.
That'd be nice.
I think that you are right at home here on the Bill Senior side of the. Oh, what is that? Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, here's a line on Syndergaard the other night, which I think if he can come back to this kind of form and just his first game back, 5 1/3 innings, he only gave up 2 walks. He only had the 1 strikeout, but I think his velocity was in the low to mid 90s, and that is going to be huge for them this year if they have him anywhere near the form he was with the Mets.
I just don't think there's enough. I don't believe in Noah because pitching injuries are hard to predict off of. And Ohtani, can he possibly be as good on the mound this year as he was last year? And who else do they have? That's why I don't believe in him.
This guy that they picked up from, I believe they got him from the Reds. He's a local kid too, from Anaheim area. I think he grew up Lorenzen.
Oh, he can hit too. I like that.
Yeah. He's pitching tonight, and the Angels are winning 4-1.
We'll see. I like him. I think his ERA was like 5.4 last year. I'm not looking at anything. I might be wrong on that, but I like him. I've always liked him. I like those guys who can hit too. It's interesting that he's on the same team as Ohtani too. The 2 best hitting pitchers in baseball right now are both on the Angels, but he's not really a number 3. He's maybe a number 5 or a good long guy. I mean, I don't know.
We'll see, but I mean that could wind up being a decent pickup for them.
So I think who's your player of the week?
Syndergaard.
Oh, that's right.
I just think that's huge for him coming back and just pitched 2 innings last year. But did he get hurt in early 2020? Yeah, or was it late 19?
I think it was opening day. Well, did we whatever? Jeez, didn't he have 1 start in opening day? I don't know. I don't want to put out incorrect information, but I think he had 1 start the last 2 years, if I'm correct.
Yeah, he only pitched 2 innings last year at the very end of the year. So I mean, like I said, if he comes back anything close to what he was with the Mets, that's going to be a big positive for the Angels.
Check this. Well, I'll just read straight from MLB.com. I'll leave out the name. The guy I'm talking about has found himself in the brightest of all spotlights after a strong opening series to his first big league season, punctuated with his first career triple, 2 more walks, and a little more history in the Guardians' 10-7 win over the Royals at Kauffman Stadium. With his 6 singles, 2 doubles, 1 triple, and 5 walks. Let me say that to you again. 6 singles, 2 doubles, 1 triple, and 5 walks since opening day. Stephen Kwan has reached base 15 times in his first 4 major league games, the most any players logged in their first 4 games since at least 1901. I wasn't around for 1901. I hear the weather was nice in New Jersey then. Can you confirm, Bill?
Yeah, it was a cool spring starting out, but
nothing cool about the start for Stephen Kwan.
I watched a little bit of the game today, and he had another good game today. Made a little poo-poo in the outfield there that led to a KC run. But
I got to be honest with you, never thought I'd hear made a little poo-poo on our show. Somebody clip that, please. I'm going to need that for the rest of my freaking life.
Yeah.
Somebody made a little poo-poo. Wasn't Stephen Kwan. I guess it was. I'm not going to lie. I never heard of this guy. Never heard of this guy.
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful? Like,
I love it though.
Happy Roads
coming up.
Tuffy Rhodes opening day, 3 home runs off of Dwight freaking Gooden a couple years back. Well, I don't know, early 90s or whatever that was. You never know. Who was the kid last year from the Mercedes, I think, from the White Sox that was hitting like 700 through April until Tony La Russa told him he's no good, and then he went to the minors a month later. There's always a fun story, and this year, Stephen Kwan. I'm pretty sure he won a gold medal in ice skating a few years ago. Just kidding. That was Michelle. But wow.
Yeah.
It's worth reading. Again, 6 singles, 2 doubles, 1 triple, 5 walks, reached base 15 times in his first 4 baseball games.
Well, he's hitting better than my MVP from last year. He's only hitting like
better than everybody. That's unbelievable. It seems fake. I feel like it's MLB the game.
The show, yeah.
Yeah, whatever the show. Some good stuff. I think we should not ignore Miggy at this time next week. Could easily have 3,000 hits. 29.91 he's sitting on. I think he's the second best right-handed hitter in my lifetime. I put Manny Ramirez number 1. Trout might need to get in there somewhere. But Manny Ramirez, right-handed hitter, and then Miggy Cabrera. 29.91. He's got 500 home runs already, doesn't he? I believe he does.
He got that, last year.
Thoughts on Miggy?
I didn't know he must have got another couple hits either today or yesterday. Last I saw, I watched a game the other day. He got 89. But yeah, he's just. I mean, there's the first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt about that. The career he's had. Yeah. Just a shame that he got that he did sign with the Tigers or whatever that were down and all, because he'd probably have a few more rings in his.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he had a real nice early career in my.
Oh, he came up at the right time with the Marlins. That's for sure.
He was playing third base for him, and he was just raking. And
probably one of the best at bats that I remember of that series. It was him as a rookie up against Roger Clemens. And
yes, going in the Wayback Machine.
Yeah.
What a career, though. I love him. I appreciate him. I'll be happy to see him get 3,000. It's a number that I think we're going to see less and less of. People getting to 3,000. More people getting to 500 home runs, less getting to 3,000 hits, but he's going to get to both.
Yeah, I think 3,000 is a hard number. And the way that the pitching's going, when's the next time we're going to see somebody come up and be a 300-game winner?
No, maybe never. I think the game will have to change. I mean, one of the reasons you're not going to have a lot of 3,000 hits is the same reason you're not going to have a lot of 300 wins. We go to the reliever so much faster. There's more wins going to the bullpen, meaning you're not going to, you're not going 6, you're not going 7, you're not going 8 to get the win. I think it's the same with 3,000 hits. The power numbers might continue to go up, but the average is not going to. You're not going to see a Tony Gwynn. You're not going to see a George Brett for a while, because every team's got 4 dudes in the pen slotting low and throwing 100. I mean, it's hard to imagine. I think the hardest thing to do in baseball for a long time was being a pinch hitter. I think nowadays it's 10x harder than it's ever been. I mean, where's Manny Mota when you near him? Those guys, when you need him, those guys coming in, you don't even know their name. They were AAA yesterday, AA yesterday.
Yeah, speaking of names, pinch hitters. There's a pinch hitter I'm thinking of, and I can't remember his name. It was in 08. I think it was against the Dodgers. He had
08?
08 or 09, one of them. He had kind of a big hit in Dodger Stadium. What team? I can't remember what team he played for.
Live to San Francisco, somebody hits a bomb for a home run to save me from having an answer. I can tell you, you've had some great pinch hitters in Philly. It was Aaron Nola's brother, by the way, goes deep for San Diego and San Francisco. Best pinch hitters in Philly.
Del Unser was one when I was a kid growing up in the 70s. Del Unser,
nice. And another one, think umbrella hat, and always wanted to be a Dodger, but he also played for the Phillies.
Was he a gravedigger on the side?
He was crazy, so probably.
The name is slipping me, but I know
Johnstone.
Jay John.
Yes. No, who's the 08 guy you don't want to ruin my day on?
I'll let you just.
I don't even know. I don't remember. I just know it's a Philly that beat my Dodgers. But I don't want to talk about it. A couple things that I found interesting. The Mets coming together over a brawl. Francisco gets hit in the head. 3 or 4 guys get hit. Francisco had a nice RBI today. Keegan Thompson, the pitcher, 3-game suspension. Manager David Ross gets 1 game. Francisco Lindor comes out and says, "Now I feel at home. These guys got my back." What say you? What do you think?
Yeah, in one breath, I saw that the other day. I was watching the game. Was Friday night's game, I think it was. It was the first game on Apple TV, the Nats and the Mets. And I didn't see the game the night before, but I heard about it that night. A couple guys that got hit, and Showalter was the first one at the top, bitching at the pitcher that hit Lindor. But then in the same breath, he's talking to the press about the pitchers having the hard time gripping this new ball that they're talking about, that have a new ball this year. Evidently, it's made somewhere else now, or I haven't heard the
Buck's
whole
kind
story.
of that guy. Buck's the kind of manager that you're not going to like unless he's yours. I mean,
Yeah.
if he's my manager, I want him to have my back, even if I'm wrong.
But I don't understand how anybody could be pissed off about Lindor. Yeah, getting hit in the head. I mean, he got hit right in that face guard that's on the side, but he squared the bunt and leaned into the pitch. How can that be on the pitcher? How could they be pissed off about that?
Those baseball lifers know what I believe they know, which is it's about firing up his team.
Yeah.
Come on. Buck Showalter, 60, 65 years old school guy, got a bunch of 25, 28-year-old millionaires. How do you fire him up? Well, this is a good way to fire him up, especially early. I would have done it too, even if I
Yeah, and that early in the year, I don't think they have a lot of bad blood going back to last year or the year before. They very well could, but that early in the year, they're not trying. Nobody's trying to hit anybody then, and especially.
But it worked for the Mets. Look at I mean, Lindor wasn't having fun last year. They signed him to the 3,000-year contract. He's kind of stuck there. He's kind of whining. Oh man, my computer is going to die.
Uh-oh. Well, this could be good. Stay tuned for Phillies talk in about 5 minutes.
No, I mean, I do need to plug it in or we're going to lose it. So anyway, what else? So we've got the Keegan Thompson, David Ross thing. Oh, talk about the umpires and them getting to talk to the press box and the announcers. I'll be right back.
Yeah, it's like watching I was a little shocked at what they're doing it this year. It's like watching an NFL game. They come on. I'm waiting for them to say first down, loss of timeout, and they don't go to the dugout anymore and look at it. They just all have headsets that they're wired up during the game. I guess they go right to New York out on the field, and it's pretty interesting how that's worked so far.
Do you like it?
It's sped it up a little bit more, I think, on the calls, because now you don't have them going over and have to look at it in the dugout. At least from the ones I've saw, they haven't gone over to look at a screen to look at it. Everything's been in their ear.
So a few years ago, they had this technology and they asked the umpires to do this. I think it's like 10. I wouldn't swear to that, but if you know me, you know.
I know they're your favorite people.
I don't like umpires. I'm anti-umpire. You know why I'm anti-umpire? Because they're wrong and they're stupid and they're wrong.
I thought they were right up there with your preacher at your church. The umpires.
I love my preachers. What are you talking about?
I figured the umpires were right up there.
far different spots on my favorite list. They're not as bad. I'll just leave it. I'm gonna stop talking about umpires. They had the ability to do this a few years ago and they turned it down. Why? They don't want the spotlight on them. What freaking idiots you are. You're in a job. It's about
I'm just retired. I love the spotlight. Joe West.
I know, right? Thank goodness. So many jokes about they had to get rid of him. So you are in an absolute obsolete job. It is going away. A machine can do it better and faster and more correct than you right now. The Cyclops in tennis was what, in the 80s, people? We don't need umpires. We don't. And they could have 10 years ago, 15 years ago, done with we don't need, I guess football's a little different, but the refs are part of the game. They become almost not an announcer, but an extra. They're an interesting piece of the game. First down is fun. The crowd goes wild. And we had the first one today. It's overturning and the crowd goes wild. I love baseball so much. And I'm a 52-year-old crusty guy, I guess. I don't think of myself as old. It's weird being the same age as old people. I've never understood how that happened. Now I'm the same age as old people. Baseball is dying of old age because they're stupid. This is such a smart move, and I'm so glad they're doing it. I've hated so many decisions they made. This is a great one. I think it adds to the game. Umpires are going to have, I don't want them to be the reason. I don't want to know their name. I don't want them to be, in baseball, you shouldn't notice the umpire, but we never say that in football because first down is fun. Everybody gets excited I love this. I think it's, I guess I need to get over my annoyance with baseball taking 20 years to get here, but I love it.
And supposedly this year in the minor leagues, they're going to be working with the non-umpire balls and strikes, which I think will be in the majors, if not next year, maybe by 25.
It'll happen. It
Yeah.
needs to happen. You know, I think that the speed of the game. Well, let me segue to that. We did some. I've never thought baseball games were too long. By the way, I think this is sports writer-itis. I think the only people who think the game's too long are baseball players and sports writers. We go to the game. We pay a lot of money. I can leave early if I'm bored. Right. I don't need you to end.
You're a
I can leave
Dodgers fan.
wherever I want.
They usually get there by the third inning and they're on their way home by the
That's
seventh.
right, baby. We know there's stuff to do in LA, but what do they call it? The pitch comm? I think it's called pitch comm. I don't want to say it wrong. The audio they have now for the pitcher and then 3 fielders, second baseman, shortstop, and center field. Most teams are going to do, but whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant.
And they left it up to the teams, and not all teams are using it.
And all teams will in a while. You know, the old crusty teams will take a while. Oh, I'm old and crusty. I don't.
It was a game I was watching last night, and I can't remember what team it was on. And everything I've seen, they've had a sleeve on their arm.
Yeah,
where they put it in. Well, this catcher had something riveted into the top of his right shin guard, and it was there, and he just put his glove over it. And
interesting.
Yeah, and I forget which game it was I was watching last night, but I thought that was interesting.
Well, I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it's going to speed up the game. I mean, I really do. There are already teams that are complaining about how fast it is. The Boston Red Sox were complaining about it on the offensive side. They weren't ready to get in the box. Pitcher was already ready to pitch.
Oh, they better.
Love that.
Of all, I can't stand Manfred. I think
Manfred.
He's far making the game worse. But there's only a couple things that I like. Get the guys in the damn box.
Yeah,
these guys that get out, the Garcia Power after every pitch, got the bell.
Like Hargrove.
Yeah, I mean it's.
I went to church. I went to church with his aunt years ago, and she loved him, and I liked him too. I was a fan.
Thank you for that useless information.
I mean, you talked about my pastor. I had to throw it out there.
But yeah, I mean, guys like him are human rain delays.
Yes,
and get them in the box. That I agree with, and I think that's coming. I believe that's coming next year. The pitch clock.
So I went to a AA game. Jack Leiter, Texas Rangers #1 prospect. They gave out K cards, right? Threw a great 3 innings, 7 Ks, looked filthy. It was really a lot of fun. One of the things was a pitch clock. And
what is it? What are they working on down there? Is it 14 or 15 seconds?
15, I think. I think it was 15.
Okay.
Pretty sure. I might be wrong on that. But regardless, it didn't affect the game in a negative way at all.
No.
Get up there, throw the ball.
Get them in there and hit. You don't need to take 45 seconds in between each pitch. I mean, I can see if you get knocked down or something like that, you need a couple extra.
Bugs fly in your face. Where stuff happens, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
But that crap, is that in or out now? Is there extra innings? Are they going to put the mystery runner on second base?
So I'm a little confused.
Took it out.
They did. This is so strange. They took it out.
Right. And they were going back to 9 innings.
All of a sudden, I'm watching and they were going through the list. I'm like, no, I was excited they got rid of it. They did get rid of it. They brought it back. I don't understand what happened there.
That's little league in the major leagues. That
I so agree. It's so
that is big time poo poo.
Somebody clip that audio for me. I don't understand that. I think that it's one of the dumbest things.
And last year, I mean, I'm glad they went back to the 9 inning doubleheaders. If it's a doubleheader, I mean, they're getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars or millions of dollars. They're big boys.
It's not even about the money. It's the game.
Yeah, but they know what they signed you.
Don't put a guy in second.
Pitchers back in the day, they pitch both ends of the doubleheader.
Exactly.
Now these guys, you're lucky if you get 5 innings out of them.
And again, I don't care. That's up to the manager. A game is 9 innings, right?
Yeah.
I don't even like the rule for weather. I don't. But it's a scheduling thing. I understand. But I was really disappointed to hear that. I think that too many rules are considered and implemented because baseball writers bitch and moan. And I think that's another one of them. I don't think it doesn't even intellectually make any sense to me. Like, help me understand this. If the idea is to end the game sooner, right? How does it do that when both teams get the advantage is the same? Like, if the goal is to make the games end sooner, I've said this before. Here's how to handle it. I hate ties. I hate ties. But play 10 innings. If it's still a tie, make it a tie. That would end the stress of ending a season, not end the stress. It would make so less likely the chance that a team would end in a tie at the end of the year, which, by the way, for the first time ever and for the rest of all time now, we're going to have tiebreakers, NFL-style tiebreakers. And
I like that. I was a big fan. The playing games the last couple of years, they've been some big-time games.
We don't have time in the schedule for it now, right, with all this, what they're doing, unless they back up the season or
adding more teams. Adding more teams is
I think the answer is play 10 innings, forget the guy in second, play 10 innings, and if it's still a tie, end in a freaking tie. That would make the standings more exciting.
Yeah, I mean, even 10 or 11 or 12 innings. I mean,
just do 10.
Yeah.
Again, my point is, if you're trying to make the games not go forever, and it makes sense not from a fan standpoint, but from a pitching standpoint, you don't want to run somebody's bullpen to death. You don't want to have a starter. I mean, in the World Series a couple of years ago, Nathan Eovaldi comes in and throws 8 scoreless in relief.
Yeah.
Now that works in the playoffs because you only got 3 starters, but that ruins a whole week of pitching.
Yeah,
or maybe a whole week of pitching if you're a major league team.
I've been involved. I've been to a few games over the years where it was 15, 16, 17 innings. We were there 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
And I have great memories of that, but I think we're the Uber fan.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. Nobody likes my idea. But
today have the attention span of a gnat. So that's the big thing. That
take your Ritalin and go watch football. Then how about that? Oh wow, we're over a minute, or we're a little bit over an hour. So Dodgers for both of us. I got Turner and Judge, Buehler and Cole, Rodriguez and Suzuki. Big news. We got Miggy about to get 3,000 hits. Umpires. Well, I don't want to talk about umpires. We got the pitcher cam thing, the communication thing. The Mets having a little brawl and the Cubbies getting a couple suspensions. What's the big news? Oh, and the big news of the week for me would be Stephen Kwan. Biggest surprise of the week for me is Stephen Kwan. How do you want to end the show here, Mr.
I just had a couple more things here. I sent to producer Dave there earlier.
Oh, that's right.
We got a little today in baseball history. You'll appreciate this one. Back in 1981, after 15 seasons with the Dodgers, Sutton left and he made his debut for the Astros, and he was pounded by his former club. The Dodgers won 7-4.
Yes,
he got tanked for 6 runs in 4 innings.
Yes,
and the other one I have this is pretty interesting here, since his son made the major leagues this weekend and had a pretty good start to his career. But back in 1990, on this date, Mark Langston and Mike Witt. I don't know. I guess is that his uncle?
So Bobby Witt,
obviously,
of the Texas Rangers. I don't think Mike Witt and Bobby Witt were related.
Okay, I thought
they were. I'm unaware of that. Mark Langston, one of my favorite pitchers ever.
Yes,
filthy lefty.
Now, did he start with California, or did he come up with?
He was the Mariners.
Okay.
He reminded me of your boy Steve Carlton.
Yeah, they combined for a no-hitter against the 1-0 no-hitter against the Mariners, and it was the first combined no-hitter in the majors since '76.
I remember that. Yeah. And then I love your first one, Don Sutton. So my favorite all-time player, Steve Garvey. Steve Garvey and Don Sutton famously had that fight. Steve Garvey's biggest regret in baseball. Don Sutton's a sweet man, a nice Christian guy, church-going guy, super, super nice guy, but really became kind of hated because of the Steve Garvey, Don Sutton thing. It really became a thing. Don Sutton said something, Garvey didn't like it, and they came to blows. That really stayed over his head for so long. Then he becomes a great, well, at least a famous announcer for the Braves, but one of the nicest and most underrated pitchers of my early childhood, Don Sutton. I mean, what an amazing career.
You'll like this. I was watching the Phillies game yesterday, and every Sunday, home games during the season, Mike Schmidt, they call it Sundays with Schmidt. He's in the booth doing the TV, and they got talking about Kruk coming up with San Diego. When he first came up, Garvey was the first baseman, and he said that's one of his all-time favorite players that he ever played with.
Oh, that's cool. I don't know that.
Yeah, they said he couldn't do enough for me, trying to help me out, and to get me accustomed to playing in the majors and doing things the right way. And he spoke real highly of him.
What a time to come up. If you got to come up in San Diego, that's the time. You got Steve Garvey, should be a Hall of Famer. Tony Gwynn, absolute Hall of Famer. I mean, those are two guys to emulate your career on, and young John Kruk. clearly had a great career, and he's a great announcer now. I loved him when he was a national guy. He's
Yeah.
still doing the Phillies games, right? Is he still?
Who's that?
Crockett?
Oh yeah, I got a friend of mine that's a Mets fan, and he said he'd rather watch paint dry than listen.
Oh, I love John Crockett. I mean, I haven't got to hear him in years.
He has the driest sense of humor. He just reminds me of the guy that would be sitting next to me in the local brewery having a beer.
Because he is that.
Yeah.
My kind of guy.
Well, they said when he was in San Diego, he would, they had an off day and he rode by, he'd wind up playing in a beer league softball game.
He raked too, man. He was underrated. Well, he got his due, I guess, in Philly. He was on some really good Phillies team. Him, Darren Dalton and all those guys.
Yeah.
But in San Diego, I felt he was very underrated. And yeah, coming up as a first baseman when Garvey was there, that's perfect. I mean,
all right, I found a little trivia question for you tonight. Who was the first major league player to have his number retired?
First major, it's got to be Babe Ruth, right? Oh, there's the list. Oh, he's on got to be Babe Ruth. Not only did I think that first, but he's on the 4 list. I don't even know who George Kelly's at Home Run Kelly. Charlie Robertson, is he a guy on Duck Dynasty? I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, I think that's Cy's grandfather.
I used to love that show. Those guys cracked me up. Boy, the kids are hot now too. Anyway, Babe Ruth, gotta be Babe Ruth, right? Number 3. Gehrig was number 4.
Nope, it was Lou Gehrig. They retired his number 4 on July 4th, 39 when he retired
earlier. Why was he 3 and Gehrig was 4? Do you know the answer?
That's a spot in the batting order. That's
exactly.
Their numbers were 1 through 9.
And they can't do that anymore because he got retired. That's a good one. And that's funny you say that. We were just talking about Steve Garvey, and then you asked that great question. My Dodgers needed to retire Steve Garvey's number. The great Trey Turner is number 6 on the Dodgers. Let me just ask you, Bill. We were talking about Steve Garvey, and we'll end the show here. Unless you have more trivia or anything.
Nope.
Do I just overrate Steve Garvey? I think he's a Hall of Famer. Now, I'm not looking at WAR. I think he's a Hall of Famer. He was a clutch player. He MVP in 74. All-Star MVPs in 78 and 80. Clutch player in 78, 77, 78, and 81. All 3 World Series against the Yankees, including winning it all in 81. Number retired in San Diego, the biggest hit in San Diego history. A clutch performer for them. Part of the greatest staying together infield ever, potentially, certainly of our lifetime. Garvey, Lopes, Russell, and Say. Multiple Gold Gloves, even in the era of Keith Hernandez, one of the greatest defensive first basemen ever.
And the same league, yeah.
He was Cal freaking Ripken before Cal Ripken. He was the guy who was going to catch Ripken if anybody did. Then I think he broke his finger. But one of the longest in the NL.
Did he have 15 something, or was he closer to 1,800 games?
1,800 pops in my head. I don't want to lie, but it certainly in an insane career. Great guy on and off the field. The Dodgers have not, and probably will never, retire his jersey, nor has the Hall of Fame come calling. He's got another couple of years before his era is up for the Hall of Fame Veterans Committee. Am I just missing it because he was my favorite player? Is Garvey a Hall of Famer? What are we doing wrong here?
Yeah, they'll talk about people that were borderline. I don't have his numbers in front of me right now, all career numbers or whatever.
Numbers long term, it doesn't stack up to the guys. That's where he falls short. But I think that doesn't tell the story.
He was definitely a feared hitter. I mean, and just him walking into the batter's box with them Popeye forearms. I mean, he was definitely a feared hitter.
From 74 MVP year to 85 when he was a stud for the Padres for a second year in a row. He was one of the most feared RBI men for over a decade.
Yeah. And that's what I don't understand with the Hall of Fame or whatever. They get too locked in on career numbers now. It's all about career numbers. And it used to be the best player of their era. And he was definitely one of the best players of his era.
Player on the best team in the National League after the Cincinnati Reds dynasty. The Dodgers were the best team from 77 to 81 for sure. I guess that's a short number, but then he leaves to go to San Diego, changes everything there. Tony Gwynn and him. Tony Gwynn was a kid though. Yeah. It was him that changed the culture. Well, him and Greg Nettles and Rich Gossage for that matter. But they changed the winning attitude. 84, he hits the big home run. 85, he's an all-star, or certainly all-star caliber, if not an all-star. I don't understand it. I think that he should be a Hall of Famer. I'm definitely a homer for him. I love Steve Garvey, and I'm annoyed that the Dodgers haven't.
What was it? Was Duke Snider's the one that got Dodgers that got in this year, right? Correct?
I didn't hear what you said.
Was it Duke Snider that just got voted into the Hall of Fame for the Dodgers?
Oh, no. He's been in the Hall of Fame for.
Well, who was it that just got, or is it Gil Hodges?
Hodges, yeah.
All right. What are their numbers compare?
Hodges' numbers are better.
All right. Okay.
But again, numbers. So he was rookie he makes the All-Star team on the ballot in 74 without being on the ballot. He gets voted in 74 without being on the ballot. That's how good of a year he had. He's the MVP in 74 when he isn't even the starter. And he's an all-star from 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83 until he goes and changes the dynamic in San Diego. 84, the big home run off of Lee Smith sent him to the World Series where he gets beat by Kirk Gibson in Detroit. 85, he's still a stud. Sure, his career ends not too long. I think 88 was his last year. I wouldn't swear to that, but 87 maybe. But again,
Schmidt retired in 89. I think he was gone a year or so before.
Schmidt retired mid-season here in San Diego.
Yep. He retired on my birthday, May 29th.
That's great. Yeah, I remember it was his game in
89. Yeah, in San Diego, right.
That was crazy. This has been a good show. We went a little over the hour, Dave. Producer Dave, we're sorry about that. I hope you didn't have big plans. My name's Jeff Dole. If you're having fun, please go give this network, boy, I was going to call it channel, this network some love. They've got a travel channel. They got a Disney channel. The FBE network is awesome. They've been great to us. Every Monday night, unless we have tornadoes in the area, every Monday night we go live. We talk a little baseball here. Bill, you can find on Magic Mouse Radio. He's got a great Facebook page. He's got all kinds of audio to listen to. Greatness, Disney music, and a lot more. Again, my channel. I got a few channels, but my main channel is Dole with Dad. Please check that out. Anything else you want to say, Bill, besides my Dodgers are freaking awesome and you feel bad about the Phillies going to come so close but lose to my Dodgers?
Yeah, I'm curious for our little side bet this year for the season series between.
We have a side bet? We need a side bet.
I knew you were you're one of them guys. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. You said that sounds like fun.
I'm sure I said yes. Doesn't mean I remember what it was.
For the season series, Phillies, Dodgers.
Yes, so I am definitely one of those guys who doesn't remember any of that. But yes.
We got to think of what our bet's going to be for. I think what it was the next time.
We had a bet. What was it? Okay, I knew that.
Yeah.
Season, that's Everett. He's my buddy. Everett, thank you so much for subscribing. Well, we'll talk about it all.
Next time we get together in person, the loser buys dinner.
Deal. I'm still Jeff. That's still Bill. Dave, producer Dave's in the background. This has been Breaking Balls. Every Monday night we talk baseball. I hope you'll be here next time, and I hope there's no more tornadoes. All right, have the best day ever. Go Dodgers.
Yeah, go Phillies. This is the year.
We'll see. Bryce Harper was MVP last year. All right. See you, people. Thanks so much for being here. Did you like the jersey?
Love it. I got to wax the car this weekend. Can you send it?
Wax on, wax off. All right. That's it, everybody. Have a great night. See ya.
So what's on FPE tonight? Check out FloridaParkExplorers.com. You'll find all of our shows and lineups, including live streaming, the extra, sports, movie and TV, and everything that's on the network. You'll be able to find all of our lineups and much, much more. So make sure that you're liking, commenting, and subscribing. But most importantly, check out FloridaParkExplorers.com for all things FPE. And as always, thanks for watching.